Hi, I'm Heather, and I decided it was time for another installment of Based on a True Story. And I'm reading out of one of the little books that I wrote for my daughter a few years ago about my childhood. And this particular story is going to be about when my brother Kelly was born, and it was bonkers. So unfortunately, I accidentally messed up, and this is a picture of Thomas, who's the older little guy. That's actually Thomas. And that's our dad, Pete. That's me. So here's Thomas, and here's Kelly when he's an itty bitty baby. And, we just brought Kelly home from the hospital. These are our dogs. So here's the start of the story of the birth of Kelly Belly. The night before October 4th, 1982, my mom told me to keep my clothes near my bed when I went to sleep. When I asked her why, she said it was because she was pretty sure we were leaving for the hospital sometime that night. When I woke up, they were already getting dressed. Pete was so stressed, he accidentally put his leg in the armhole of his red union suit. I laughed at him as he hopped around, but he didn't think it was very funny. Pete, Mom, Tommy, and I all crowded into the cab of our old pickup truck for the long drive to the hospital. It was like almost 15 miles to town, and most of that was not paved. This is in the October, so it was already very much winter. It was freezing ass cold. Terrible driving conditions. And all of us are in the cab of an old pickup truck, like a 1962 Chevy or something. I don't remember exactly what it was. Step side. The roads were so icy, so Pete had to drive carefully, but he was also hurrying because Kelly was coming fast. Mom held my hand and squeezed so hard that every time she had a contraction, I had to fight to keep from crying. I was also so scared, I thought I was going to throw up, but I knew we didn't have time to pull over, so I kept it down. As we got near the hospital, Mom yelled, "I can feel his head coming out!" I kept Tommy busy in the waiting room while Mom and Pete went with the doctors. We didn't have to wait long because Kelly was born within minutes of getting to the hospital. Our mom was the first to have a natural birth following a C-section at that hospital, which was a pretty big deal then. Because my mom's a badass. So then here's another picture of Tom and Kelly. Kelly has been so in love with Tom since day one. This is always one of our favorite ones. And then there's my mom. And Tom's wearing his grandpa's cowboy hat. And this was a chair that we always sat in. It was like a leather chair. Oh yeah. Okay, so we're just hanging out outside. Okay, so here's Kelly, like, rubbing Tom's ear and leaning on him and drinking a juice bottle. So Kelly loved his juice bottles and his big brother. One of his favorite ways to relax was to rub on Tommy's earlobe while he drank his bottle. Pete did quite a bit of hunting, and I thought this picture of he and Mom with some deer was pretty interesting. I love the kind of crap that I throw in here. So that's the interesting picture of them, and then there's the boys taking a bath. And okay. Okay, maybe this one last page. My best friend Melody lived a few miles away, and she would ride her horse over to our place so we could ride around in the field behind our house. I went to the Anchor Point Rodeo with her once, and we did the rescue race. I was riding a huge horse, a cross between a quarter horse and a Belgian. I could barely get my legs around her. I was supposed to ride as fast as I could, pick Melody up, and we would race back to the start. The horse bucked me off in the middle of the arena, which was pretty embarrassing, and Melody was furious. So there's that must be Tom and me and Melody. This is not the horse that bucked me off in the Anchor Point Rodeo. This was a different one. I don't remember her name. And there's me in my moon boots, my red pants. It's quite the fashion plate back then. All right. Sweet. So guess what? Next time I feel like reading a story, it'll be about the pea ditch. Yeah, that's a good one. I love telling stories. I like hearing other people's stories though too. I love to hear like the crazy stuff that people have done in their lives that I could never have possibly imagined. So, all right, have a great rest of your day. Love you, bye.